What are some of the best brain teasers in the world? If my girlfriend doesn't know what she wants to eat, how do all my choices manage to be wrong? She may not know what she wants, but she knows what she doesn't want. For example, if I simplify it this way, a young man entering college is asked by a relative, "What do you want to do with your life?" He responds, "I don't know." The relative then responds, "Do you want to be a teacher?" The boy thinks, "I don't think teachers make enough money, plus I don't want to deal with grading assignments." "No." He replies. "How about a doctor?" "Doctors make a lot of money, but I'm not incredibly smart, plus diseases scare me." "No, not for me." "How about an animal trainer?" "Animals are fun, but they require lots of patience and care, and I can't do that." "No." "Well, I thought you didn't know. Seems like you must have an idea with all these requirements. Now relate that to food." Now while you gave me perspective on why she does this, I still need a suggestion on somewhere to eat. We can't eat analogies. You walk on a path and come to a fork in the road. One path leads to eternal happiness and the other path leads to eternal misery. You do not know which path is which. In between the paths is a house. Inside of that house live two twin brothers that are exactly the same in every way except for one thing. One always tells the truth and the other one always lies. It is impossible to tell the difference and impossible to tell whether or not either of them are lying. Both brothers know which path is which. One brother walks out of the house and you do not know which one it is. You can ask one question to what question do you ask to find out which path to take? You cannot go down one path and come back, and you cannot go back the way you came. Which path would your brother tell me is the good path? You take the path that they don't tell you to take, because the lying brother will tell you the bad path. The honest brother knows this, so he also tells you the bad path. Now they would have both told you the same thing, so you know definitively which path is bad and which path is good. The correct answer is to go watch Labyrinth right now. What is so fragile that even saying its name can break it? Fax machines. PC load letter? What the duck does that mean? Silence. You live in a cabin with a unique feature. Each window in the cabin has a view to the south. There are windows on each exterior wall. One day, gazing out of one of the windows, you spot a bear. What color is it? White. You're at the North Pole. Black. There was a massive zoo robbery and a shutton of random bears were released into the Arctic. Rainbow. You're actually super wrecked on LSD. If you have 3, you have 3. If you have 2, you have 2. But if you have 1, you have none. What is it? Choices. Edit. It's not balls, grapsis or consonants. Duck. 3 people check into a hotel. They pay $30 to the manager and go to their room. The manager suddenly remembers that the room rate is $25 and gives $5 to the bellboy to return to the people. On the way to the room, the bellboy reasons that $5 would be difficult to share among 3 people, so he pockets $2 and gives $1 to each person. Now each person paid $10 and got back $1. So they paid $9 each, totaling $27. The bellboy has $2, totaling $29. Where is the missing $1? It's a trick question. There is no missing $1. The manager has $25, the people have $3, and the bellboy has $2, like you said. That adds up to $30. The trick is in this part. Now each person paid $10 and got back $1. So they paid $9 each, totaling $27. The $27 they paid are the $25 that's with the manager, plus the $2 the bellboy stole. Add that to the $3 refund, and you still have $30. There is no missing $1. I can be quick, and then I'm deadly. I'm a rock, shell, and bone medley. If I was made into a man, I'd make people dream. I gather in my millions by ocean, sea and stream. What am I? Darude, sandstorm. I was ready to say ice, then immediately realized it contains no rock, shell, or bone. Edit. It's sand. The boss of a company was last out of the building and on his way to his car. On his way to the train station, he saw the night watchman. They waved and said goodnight to each other. Just before the boss went into the station, the night watchman ran over to the boss and told him, "I had a dream last night that the 7:15 PM train is going to crash and there will be no survivors. so can you please not take it? The boss agreed to this and took the bus. When the boss got home, he stuck on the TV and turned to the news channel, where it had a report on the 7:15 p.m. train crashing, and there were no survivors. The next morning the boss went to the night watchman, gave him $50,000 for saving his life, and then fired him. Why was he fired? For sleeping on the job. Plot loophole. Why does the boss walk to his car, then to the train station, and then he takes the bus? Can't he just drive home? I deem this question invalid and myself as the ultimate ruler of the universe. You're welcome. Two fathers and two sons all decide to go fishing one day. They're all going to participate, but upon arrival at a nearby pond, only 3 lines go out into the water. How is that possible? One father cuts off his son's arms, so he can't fish. It is okay though, the mom will help him out. Different kind of rod though. 3 generations, grandfather, father, and child. David's father has 3 sons. Snap, crackle, and what's the third son's name? This isn't long enough for the misdirection to work. The what color is the bus driver's eyes one pulls this off way more effectively, because it's long and completely misleads you with irrelevant information. Only a 5-year-old or someone mentally deficient would fall for this one. Obviously the third son's name is Pop. You are locked in a freezing cabin with no way out. There is a candle, a wood stove, and a lantern. You only have one match. What do you light first? Easy, you light the match. Then you look into the bottom of the lantern, which is reflective. Look again and see what you saw. Take the saw, cut the candle in half. 2 halves make a hole. Crawl out through the hole. The cabin. At least you'll be warm for the rest of your life. I remember one about 2 barbers. One barber has messy hair and a messy barber shop. The other barber has clean hair and a clean barber shop. What barber should you go to? Edit. Note, the 2 barbers are from the same town, to the messy one, because he gives his clients, including the other barber, a clean haircut. Also because it's easier to keep a barber shop clean, if no one ever goes there. A poor man walks into a bar and starts talking with a really rich man. The poor man says, you know, I know every song in the world. I bet all your fortune and possessions that I can find a song with any name you want. The rich man, laughing, accepts and says that he bets him to find a song with his daughter's complete name in it. Her name is Jilly Monique Alexandrina. A few minutes later, the poor man exits the bar with the rich man's wallet, car, or car's key or keys, clothes, etc. He won his bet. How? He sang happy birthday. A murderer is condemned to death. He has to choose between 3 rooms. The first is full of raging fires, the second is full of assassins with loaded guns, and the third is full of lions that haven't eaten in 3 years. Which room is safest for him? The third, because the lions are malnourished and may be dead. Joke's on you, these are super lions who have been IV-fed for 3 years and are super strong with all the nutrients given. Taken from Fargo. You have a fox, a chicken and a lettuce on one side of the river. Your job is to transport them over to the other side with a boat, but you can only take one of them at a time. If you leave the fox and the chicken behind, the fox will eat the chicken. If you leave the chicken and the lettuce behind, the chicken will eat the lettuce. How will you transfer them over to the other side? 1. Move the chicken with you over to the other side. 2. Move the fox over to the other side. Bring the chicken back with you. 3. Leave the chicken and bring the lettuce with you over to the other side. 4. Go back and bring the chicken with you. There are 2 rooms. The room you are in has 3 switches that each connect to one of the 3 lights in the other room. You get only one visit to the other room. How do you know which switch connects to each light? Turn on 2 of the lights, first and second, leaving one switch off, third, and wait a few minutes. After that, turn one of the lights off, second, and go into the room. One should be lit, the first one, another should be off but warm, the second one, and the third should be off and cold. Duck this answer. All you guys with this answer are just wasting energy. Turn on one light, wait, turn it off, and turn another one on. The cold bulb uses the switch you never turned on. The bulb that's on is the switch you just turned on. The bulb that's off and hot is the one you turned on and off. The difference? I use less electricity. You kids these days, I bet you leave the front door open when the air conditioner is on as well. In a small cabin in the woods, 2 men lay dead. The cabin itself is not burned, but the forest all around is burned to cinders. How did the men die? Edit. The answer is here. As revealed below, the cabin is an airplane cabin. The answer is plain to see. A man, sitting at a table, is dead with 53 bicycles laying all around him. How did he die? Bludgeoned to death with 53 bicycles. Easy. He was murdered for cheating at cards. This has always been one of my favorite ones. Cannibals ambush a safari in the jungle and capture 3 men. The cannibals give the men a single chance to escape uneaten. The captives are lined up in order of height and are tied to stakes. The man in the rear can see the backs of his 2 friends. The man in the middle can see the back of the man in front, and the man in front cannot see anyone. The cannibals show the men 5 hats. 3 of the hats are black and 2 of the hats are white. Blindfolds are then placed over each man's eyes and a hat is placed on each man's head. The 2 hats left over are hidden. The blindfolds are then removed, and it is said to the men that if one of them can guess what color hat he is wearing, they can all leave unharmed. The man in the rear who can see both of his friends' hats, but not his own, says, "I don't know." The middle man who can see the hat of the man in front, but not his own, says, "I don't know." The front man who cannot see anybody's hat says, "I know." How did he know the color of his hat and what color was it? Answer. The man in front knew he was wearing a black hat because he knew the first man did not see 2 white hats, and he knew that the second man did not see 1 white hat because if he saw a white hat, the second man would have known that his hat was black from hearing the first man's statement. He has a lot of faith in the logic of his traveling companions. My favorite related joke. 3 logicians walk into a bar. The bartender asks, "Do you all want a beer?" The first 2 say, "I don't know." The third shouts, "Yes." Well, reading this thread made me feel like a dumbass.